What is up, bros? My name is Test Email, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep, like Mariana Trench deep, into the world of anime. We're not just talking about good shows, we're talking about the absolute game changers, the titans of the industry that stomped their way into our hearts and minds and left a permanent mark. So, get your floor gang salute ready, grab a snack, and join me on this epic countdown of the top 5 anime that literally changed everything. These aren't just cartoons, people. These are masterpieces that redefined storytelling, pushed the boundaries of animation, and created fandoms so massive they could probably form their own country. We've all been there, right? Staring at the screen, completely shattered by the emotional roller coaster that is Attack on Titan, feeling every gut-wrenching moment as if it were our own. Or maybe you've spent years, literal years, sailing the Grand Line with Luffy and the Straw Hats, feeling like a part of the crew on the never-ending epic journey of One Piece. These experiences are more than just watching a show. They're about living through these incredible stories, connecting with characters on a level that's almost impossible to explain. It's a cultural phenomenon, a shared experience that connects millions of us across the globe. So for this list, I've tried to pinpoint the absolute legends, the ones that sent shockwaves through not just Japan, but the entire world. From mind-bending psychological thrillers to the sagas that basically wrote the rulebook for shonen anime, each one of these has a special place in history. We're going to break down what made them so revolutionary and why they still hold up today. This is going to be a big one, so settle in. This is the top 5 anime that changed everything. Let's do this. Alright, kicking off our list at number 5, we have to talk about the one, the only Attack on Titan. Man, where do you even begin with this absolute unit of a story? When it first dropped, nobody was ready. We were all used to shonen protagonists who would win through the power of friendship and yelling really, really loud. And then Isayama just casually walks in, drops this masterpiece and says, "What if everyone you love dies a horrible, brutal death and hope is just a cruel joke?" It was a lot, but in the best way possible. It was so dark, so gritty, and so unapologetically grim. The sheer emotional weight of this show is just staggering. It wasn't just about giant naked people eating regular-sized people, though there was plenty of that. It was about politics, war, genocide, freedom, and the cyclical nature of hatred. It asked questions that most shows, let alone anime, wouldn't dare to touch. The storytelling was so intricate, with twists and turns that made you question everything you thought you knew. I remember the basement reveal and my brain just melted. It completely flipped the entire narrative on its head and elevated the series from a simple survival horror to a complex political epic. It proved that anime could be as thematically rich and emotionally devastating as any prestige TV drama. And the impact? It's undeniable. Attack on Titan brought so many new people into the anime community. It was the show that your non-anime watching friends were talking about. The animation by Wit Studio and later MAPPA was just breathtaking, creating these dynamic, high-octane action sequences that felt like something out of a blockbuster movie. The series didn't just raise the bar for dark fantasy, it launched it into the stratosphere. It showed the world that a shonen series could be mature, horrifying, and deeply philosophical, changing the landscape for what a mainstream anime could be. An absolute legend. Coming in at number 4, we have the king of longevity, the granddaddy of adventure, the one that will probably outlive us all, One Piece. Seriously, this thing started before some of you were even born, and it's still going strong. That alone is an insane achievement. But One Piece isn't just long for the sake of being long. It's an epic in the truest sense of the word. Eiichiro Oda has been building this world for over 2 decades, and the sheer scale of it is mind-boggling. Every island, every character, every little detail feels like it's part of a much, much bigger picture. It's the definition of world building. The journey of Monkey D. Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates is more than just a quest for treasure. It's a story that has shaped generations. For millions of people, these characters are not just characters, they are friends. We've grown up with them, laughed with them during the hilarious moments, and cried with them during the heartbreaking tragedies. I'm talking about the Going Merry Aces. You know what? I'm not even gonna say it. It still hurts. This emotional connection is the secret sauce of One Piece. It's a series that champions friendship, freedom, and fighting for your dreams against all odds. And that's a message that resonates with everyone, everywhere. Its influence is just colossal. It's one of the best-selling manga of all time, a cultural institution in Japan, and a global phenomenon. It kept the spirit of grand adventure alive in anime, when everything else was getting darker and more cynical. One Piece is a beacon of optimistic storytelling, proving that you can have a long-running series that never loses its heart or its sense of wonder. It inspired countless other mangaka and animators, setting a standard for adventure stories that is almost impossible to reach. It's not just an anime, it's a legacy. All hail Oda-sensei. Chapter 3. Naruto, the ninja who ran into our hearts. At number 3, we have the show that was, for an entire generation, the gateway drug to anime. I'm talking, of course, about Naruto. Believe it. You couldn't escape this show in the mid-2000s. It was everywhere. On Toonami, on playgrounds, and Hot Topic. Naruto, with his bright orange jumpsuit and even brighter ambition, ran straight into the mainstream and basically single-handedly popularized anime for a whole new wave of fans in the West. If you ask a random person on the street to name an anime, there's a very high chance they're going to say Naruto, and that speaks volumes about its reach. The story of an outcast kid, hated by his village, who dreams of becoming its leader and gaining everyone's respect is just universally compelling. It's a classic underdog story, but it's told with so much heart and sincerity. We watched Naruto go from a lonely prankster to a powerful hero, and we were with him every step of the way. The show tackled themes of loneliness, friendship, prejudice, and the cycle of hatred in a way that was accessible to a younger audience, but still had enough depth for older viewers to appreciate. The rivalries, especially between Naruto and Sasuke, were legendary and created some of the most iconic fights in anime history. Naruto's cultural footprint is just massive. It wasn't just a show, it was a phenomenon that spawned movies, video games, and an insane amount of merchandise. It bridged the gap between Eastern and Western pop culture like few series had before. It made things like ninja hand signs and yelling attack names cool. It introduced millions to the shonen formula and created a dedicated global fan base that is still passionate to this day. Without Naruto's explosive popularity, the anime landscape in the West would look very, very different. It was the perfect storm of action, emotion, and iconic character design that took the world by storm. Chapter 4. Neon Genesis, Evangelion, get in the robot, Shinji. Alright, for our number 2 spot, we're taking a sharp turn into existential dread and psychological trauma with Neon Genesis Evangelion. This is not your average mecha anime. Oh no. You came for cool robots fighting giant monsters and you left with a crippling depression and a newfound need for therapy. Hideaki Anno basically took the giant robot genre, which was all about hot-blooded heroes and cool machines, and used it as a Trojan horse to deliver one of the most complex, challenging, and deeply personal stories ever animated. It was, and still is, absolutely groundbreaking. Evangelion deconstructed everything. It deconstructed the mecha genre. It deconstructed the chosen one trope, and it deconstructed its own characters right in front of our eyes. Instead of brave pilots, we got traumatized teenagers struggling with depression, anxiety, and a desperate need for parental approval. The cool robots were horrifying biomechanical monstrosities that caused immense physical and psychological pain to their pilots. The show wasn't really about the angels, it was about the human condition. It explored loneliness, communication, and the pain of existence with a level of philosophical depth that was completely unheard of in a mainstream show at the time. The influence of Evangelion is impossible to overstate. It completely changed the game for what anime could do and what it could be about. It inspired a whole generation of creators to tell more mature, introspective, and thematically complex stories. Its legacy can be seen everywhere, from its iconic visual language to its willingness to leave audiences confused, challenged, and even angry. It proved that animation could be a medium for profound artistic expression and philosophical inquiry. Love it or hate it, you cannot deny that Neon Genesis Evangelion blew the doors wide open and changed anime forever. Get in the damn robot. Chapter 5. Dragon Ball Z, the father of modern shonen. And now, at the number 1 spot, the one that started it all, the absolute foundation upon which modern anime fandom was built. Dragon Ball Z. You just can't have this conversation without DBZ. It is the genesis. For so many of us, this was our first anime. Watching Goku power up for 3 episodes straight on Toonami after school was a core childhood memory. It wasn't just a show, it was a ritual. It laid the groundwork for everything that came after it. Power levels, transformations, epic tournament arcs, screaming to get stronger, these are all tropes that were either invented or popularized by Dragon Ball Z. This series fundamentally shaped what it means to be a shonen anime. The formula is simple but so effective. A kind-hearted, powerful hero who loves to fight and protect his friends faces off against increasingly powerful villains. The brilliance of DBZ was in its pacing and its hype. The build-up to a new transformation, like Goku going Super Saiyan for the first time, was an event. It was a cultural moment that is burned into the collective consciousness of an entire generation. That scream, that golden aura, it was pure, unfiltered hype, and we were all addicted to it. It was simple, epic, and endlessly entertaining. Dragon Ball Z's role in popularizing anime on a global scale cannot be overstated. It was a juggernaut. It broke through cultural barriers and became a worldwide phenomenon long before the internet made that easy. It created a blueprint for international marketing and fandom that series like Naruto and One Piece would later follow and expand upon. Every modern shonen series, whether it knows it or not, stands on the shoulders of giants, and Dragon Ball Z is the biggest giant of them all. It is the alpha and the omega of battle anime, the undisputed king and the most influential anime of all time, period. And that's the list! Phew, what a journey through anime history. From the foundational epic of Dragon Ball Z to the bleak masterpiece of Attack on Titan, these 5 shows truly did change everything. They pushed boundaries, created global communities, and left a crater-sized impact on pop culture that we're still feeling today. They are the legends, the icons, the GOATs. Of course, this is just my list based on their sheer impact and influence. There are so many other incredible shows out there that could have made the cut. Now, I want to hear from you guys. This is where the real discussion begins. What anime changed everything for you? Was it a classic like Cowboy Bebop or a modern hit like Demon Slayer? What was the show that got you hooked, the one that made you realize anime was something special? Head down to the comments section and let me know your top 5 or even just your number 1. I genuinely love reading through all your picks and seeing what shows resonated with all of you. Let's get a huge discussion going. Thank you all so much for watching and for joining me on this countdown. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more deep dives into anime, video games, and all things nerdy, then make sure to slap that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss a thing. It really helps out the channel a lot. Alright, that's it from me. Stay awesome, bros, and I'll see you in the next video. Floor Gang out!